Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to show off some stuff I got for September, and it's surprising that we're almost in October. Seeing how I just felt like it was just summertime, like the start of summer. But start off with some movies. Um, got Jumanji. I always think that like I have things, and then I realize that I don't, and then sometimes I'll leave them behind, and then I realize like, oh, I didn't have that. I go back and it's not there. But finally have that, and I feel like maybe it's just because it had been on TV a good bit in the last 20 years. I just feel like I've seen that so many times. As this wasn't one that like pulled me into like feeling it necessary to have to go get it, but it is a Robin Williams movie that um, when I think of like Robin Williams, I think about something like Jumanji and Hook. Those two, Mrs. Doubtfire. Uh, Guardians of the Galaxy is another one I found. I'm slowly picking up these Marvel movies. It's so weird because it's like I have Disney Plus, but it's like I just there's just something about my thinking that I would rather watch it on a physical format than just to sit down and use a smart TV and just stream everything. Even though it's way more convenient, it's just I don't know. It's just so much something about like having the disc and knowing that like I'm gonna set aside time to watch something. Just feels like the way I used to always do things before technology has changed drastically. But Guardians of the Galaxy is one that it's been out for a good number of years, but I just have yet to ever sit down and watch it all the way through. I think I've started it like two times and I've only ever gotten through like the first half hour. So, but it is nice to pick up those Marvel movies. I don't really think I'm going to plan to get every single one of them, but just some of the ones that interest me. Silent Hill's another one that I think I may have had this at one point, but then some of the stuff I've encountered is like I end up thinking that the movie's gonna work, and then I end up trying to watch it, and then like disc is so scratched it doesn't read, kind of thing. So I think I thought I had it, and then I realized I didn't have it, so I ended up picking it up. And I remember when this movie came out, I liked it a good bit. I was always a decent fan of Sean Bean. I know Sean Bean's in this. Yeah, there he is. Even though he's not like necessarily like the leading role, he plays like the husband of the woman who's like the lead role. But I kind of like that movie. I know that it came out trying to kind of compete with Resident Evil because they were pumping all those Resident Evil movies out, and then they also had the Saw movies and all those. Um, Apocalypto's one that I had bought this within the last 6 months, which I like for the longest time I've been collecting DVDs. I could never find this, and then I did find it like 6 months ago within the last 6 months, and then I found it again. Um, this is just in a much better condition than the other one I have, so it doesn't cost a lot of money. So I'll just end up swapping them out, kind of thing. I didn't pick this up, but I had this sitting off to the side with the plans of potentially trying to watch this just in memory of this man. Um, it's been probably, I think this movie's definitely older than, I don't remember if it came out in the late 90s or 2099. So I was gonna, or 98. I was going to say it's been definitely over 20 years since I've seen this. But I just kind of wanted to see how this held up and obviously watch it because he just passed away. Um, but another thing that I got, I realized that there's a company that makes graphic novels of like really classic stories, and they're not like tremendously long. Some of these graphic novels, so some of the stories are, or some of these adaptations are not all that expensive. I think I got this for under like $5, and it was like an Amazon where like you can find alternative uh, items for sale from like other listings, other sellers, and it would technically be like pre-owned, um, coming from like some wholesale book company, or like somebody associated with um, Amazon. But anyway, there's some other ones that I'm interested in, but I just was like, the only thing I really like the Headless Horseman story, Sleepy Hollow, but I just thought that the artist, whoever drew, what's his name, Ichabod Crane. I was just trying to think about what his name is. I just think like the style that they decided to go with Ichabod Crane is like just like repulsive drawings. There he is there again. Like that's Ichabod there, and just like the style in which they chose to make the main character was kind of like, I can't get over the fact of that when I'm supposed to be focusing on how cool the Headless Horseman is. A couple PlayStation 4 games here. On GameFly, they had R-Type Final 2 on sale for $24.99 with free shipping, so I jumped on that, and then that deal went away pretty quick, just because I think they mark things down periodically, and then they have sales and all that, and then sometimes when they run out of their inventory, they're not going to necessarily always have more stock that comes in, so everything's in pretty good shape. Remember when GameFly would be just shipping the discs out to people, and then everything else is in pretty good shape. I'm not going to say pristine, but I played through like 2 missions in this game, and just really beautiful shooter. Kind of hard, kind of more difficult, but I think if you really started to play it a lot and get better at it, it would probably be more easier. It's not a fast paced shooter. It's definitely slower paced, but I think you got to kind of memorize some things to be really good at it. Super Monkey Ball was a game that I got with a GameStop order that I did back in August, where like if you buy $19.99 games, you could get them basically 50% off. So these two were a part of that. Super Monkey Ball and Yakuza 3. Just they didn't come in before I made the video that I made in August, so they were essentially $10 games, and they both came with their cover art and everything. I traded some stuff in to get this. I think this is going to come down in price, but I think when I traded stuff in and I was trying to use a coupon, I just kind of was like, okay, what game? I'm almost at a point now where I'm like, there's a lot of games that I just don't really want to get, but then I'm very selective in the ones I do still want to get. I want to try to get them for decent prices and not feel like I'm getting taken advantage of. So with like a trade-in that I did and then a coupon, this ended up being like $17, and I have yet to play it, but I do look forward to giving this a try, just because I can remember playing those. I remember playing it on like PlayStation 1, and then like when they went to the next level, I think I remember playing on GameCube. I can't remember if that would be Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 or I think, yeah, it probably would have been that. Anyway, besides Yakuza 3, I also got Tales of Zillia 2. I started playing this a few days ago, and I found it to be really, really good game. It's probably better that I play that first before I play Tales of Arise, because I know I'm going to probably like Tales of Arise a lot. But Tales of Zillia 2 is also a really good RPG. I'm glad I got it, because it's probably going to be something that's not easy to find here in the next few years. I have all the Tales of games on PlayStation 3. I just don't have every Tales of game in other, I think PlayStation, I don't have any of the PlayStation 2 ones, or I don't have Tales of Destiny. But anyway, I'm more interested in, I think, the PlayStation 3 Tales of games, and then Tales of Arise is going to be pretty good too. Some Switch games, Got this early in the month. It got marked down on Amazon for $29.99, and I went ahead and got that. I've been playing Bravely Second a lot on my 2DS, just because I wanted to make sure I played. I played Bravely Default a little bit, maybe 5 to 10 hours, and then I've been trying to put in. I probably put in about 6 hours on Bravely Second. The whole turn-based mechanic is really relatively addicting. You can have a setting. I did it for Bravely Second, where like you can speed up everything. So like the battle encounters are like incredibly fast, and like you can just be hitting buttons really quickly, and then it just knocks everything out really fast. So you can level up at a fairly decent pace. It's not going to make the game turn into a 20-hour game or anything like that, but it definitely takes the monotony out of it speeds everything up, is what I'm trying to say. But I'll probably get to this one here pretty soon. After I make this video, I'm probably going to open these up, and then maybe I have a good bunch of Switch games I'm playing, so I'm not in any rush to jump into a lot of these. But um, Shantae Cappuccini Hero I do have on the PlayStation 4, but because it had like DLC and stuff, and I just assumed this is going to be a harder these Shantae games are not going to be easy to find. I decided to go ahead and pick them up. I had some credit card points that I used for these two games, and this essentially was like around 12 to 15 with my points taken away, and then another credit card that I had points made this one be about like $10 or $12. This was actually like $23.99 on Amazon. I feel like it's probably not going to go a lot lower than that. These Nicalis games are gonna not be easy to find. If you don't know anything about this game, this is like a twin stick shooter. But yeah, it's like a twin stick shooter, but you play as this. It's just a weird premise where you play as a monkey with guns. But I'm not asking questions. I think it would probably, if it's gonna be a little bit of fun, I feel like it would be decent money spent. Keep going here. I went to before the pandemic, we used to have these in my area, which I was really always getting kind of impressed with like the following that was being developing, which was like a video game. I don't want to call them a club, but they're a group of people that they organize using Facebook, and then they try to get events together, and they were doing events before the pandemic, and then things slowed down, and then they've had 2 events in the last like maybe 4 or 5 months. They did one maybe in June, and then they just did one here early to mid-September, and I went to that event, and it was really good. They probably had about somewhere between like 16 and 20 tables set up. I mean, they basically were like vendors, people that were dedicated in selling video games. Some of them probably having more experience than others. Some of them just getting together a bunch of their stuff that they no longer wanted, and then just got a table and sat down and then just tried to trade or sell to people. These games I got from a guy who I remember seeing him in years past. I don't really know his name or have any connection with him, but seemed like a really honest guy. Was interested in just kind of getting rid of some of his stuff. He brought out a lot of his Xbox and GameCube collection. He seems like a guy that, like a lot of other decently smart collectors, will buy up games when they're relevant, and then because the only thing that was like I noticed about him was he was not really up to date or current on like the values of some of these games. He was looking stuff up on his phone and all that, but he was very gracious to kind of give some deals. So some of these games, especially these GameCube games, have been always kind of on my radar, and I just I've never felt the desire to really seek them out or just buy them on eBay or anything like that. When I probably should have, when the prices were a lot cheaper, even just like 5 years ago. But Sega Soccer Slam was a game I used to play. I remember when the GameCube first came out, that was the game that I had, and I played soccer in high school, so I was like, it's Sega. It's a Sega game. Plays a lot like as if like Super Smash Brothers had a baby and it turned out to be a soccer game. It's kind of how that game plays. It'd be a great couch co-op game if you had some people over and you were gonna play a game that's soccer related and you're just having fun drinking a little bit. That would be a great game to play with a few friends. Couch co-op type of thing. Because it's basically like 3-on-3 soccer, or you could probably play like one or you and a friend playing against the computer kind of thing. Rebel Strike, Rogue Squadron 3. I was like not sure what to expect. I mean, I've always played the Rogue Squadron games where I remember playing it on the 64. I played the the Phantom Menace Naboo one. I remember playing the Rogue Squadron that came out one on the GameCube that was just like blew me away with the way the graphics looked and everything like that. And I just never got around to this one. I started playing it a little bit and it was fun. The first like level or two, I'd like to go back and play more levels. But basically, Sega Soccer Slam and Rebel Strike I got for like $10 from this guy. $10 each, so each one was about $10, so $20 total there. I'll stick with the GameCube stuff here. So Star Fox Adventures, he made kind of like a negative comment about this game, but it's like this is one that I've always wanted to get back in my collection. It kind of holds a spot in my memory because I can remember. I think I might have got this for like a Christmas. I can't remember at what point of the year this would have came out, but like I was like so wishing this to be like a Zelda game, and it was what it was trying to attempt to be, and it ended up kind of falling flat. But it had some charm to it, and it was a game that graphically looked pretty good at the time. But I can remember it having controls that were frustrating, so I feel like if I go back to it, I might re-experience some of those control issues. I can remember being younger and like not knowing where to go or what to do, and so like without having pre YouTube and not having a strategy guide, it was probably pretty easy to get frustrated and just want to be done with it. And then Otogi 2, so Star Fox Adventures I got for $20, so that's $40 between the three of those games. Not too terrible. I can't remember what Star Fox Adventures is going for right now. Just kind of was in the moment of like trying to bundle everything together to get a decent price. And then Otogi 2 was one that I was interested in because that's a from software game. It's going to be a game that will definitely get my money back for what I paid for pretty much all of these games. If I was just to sell that, I'd get my money back. But it's a From Software game. I have the original Otogi game on Xbox. It's a exclusive for Xbox. Never came out for PlayStation 2. I think I would love to be able to get all the Sega games for like this generation. And I don't care if some of them are exclusive to some consoles, but like some aren't. And so I think it would be a good collection goal to try to get as many of them as I can. But anyway, yeah, Togi 2 was one I was glad to pick up. I got that for $40. So I think it's selling for around 70 to 80 when I checked. And he was aware of that, but he just, I don't know, it was a fairly nice guy. I just bundled everything and I gave him $80 for all of these. So those were the only games I bought. I could have probably bought more, but I had my daughter was with me when I was there, like looking around and stuff like that. So she was only patient enough to stay for only so long. Picked up some CDs recently too. I came across some of these, and these are not expensive. These like around 60 some cents at Goodwill. And I think I got almost all of these in one trip. So somebody donated all of this stuff, and I decided to go ahead and get a lot of them. Killers, CD by the Killers. Chevelle's a band that I like a lot, and I'm almost pretty close to having all the Chevelle CDs back in my possession. Kid Rock's, that CD's actually, I was listening to that on my drive to work, and that's a lot better than I thought it would have been. Besides having Ball with the Ball in there, Modest Mouse is that one. That is Godsmack, which I think has the Voodoo song on it. Offspring, I can't remember which songs would be on that, but I always thought Offspring was a pretty decent band. And then this was what I was really happy about because I was considering like buying some of these just by picking them up, but then I randomly came across all of these all in one shot. And if you're not familiar with this, Adam Sandler put together CDs back, but between his days of Saturday Night Live and like making movies in the 90s, he put out some of these into the 2000s, and they're just like comedy CD skits that some of them are hilarious. Like Toll Booth Willie, I think, is on one of these. I think one of the earlier ones. And there's just like it's just the type of comedy that like is just for that time period, and you're just not going to get it. You're probably not going to get that kind of comedy again. So I was real happy to find all four of them. I was thinking like I'm bound to at some point find like one of these, and then I ended up finding all four of them at the same time. I don't know if he made any more than these. I don't know if he made 5 or 6, but I do know that's probably about as many that he did make. Um, but I'm looking forward to listening to some of them. I think I have the Chevelle CD in my car right now, but I probably need to swap it out and maybe go through some of these. I think these are the order in which they came out as far as their age and everything. But yeah, let me know what you think as far as some of the stuff I picked up, and I will see you next time.